Greetings, everybody, and welcome to another edition of AUHSD Future Talks. I'm your host, Superintendent Michael Matsuda, Superintendent of the Anaheim Union High School District, and this show is dedicated to all of our young people and their families to talk about the future of jobs, the future of work and careers, and what AUHSD is doing about it right now. We've had so many just amazing people as our guest who shared their wonderful lived experiences in the world of work. And today we're blessed with one of our very own homegrown dance teachers, Oscar Gonzalez. Oscar, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor and a privilege to be here.
So, Oscar, I know that you are homegrown. So let's talk a little bit about who you are. I'm always interested in personal drivers, but you know, so your parents are from Mexico. You were an English learner, and you went to Anaheim's schools beginning in elementary. Tell us a little bit about how it was growing up.
Yeah, so I am literally a product, a student of the Anaheim Union High School District. I went to Patrick Henry Elementary, and then I went to Sycamore Junior High, and then Anaheim High School, and I'm back again. It's like I never left. But yeah, my first language was Spanish up until second grade. I was an English language learner, and since this very small age, I always knew that I wanted to become a teacher. So for me, having that educational background, I was always a student that wanted to do really good in school, and I always wanted to, do my best. So having the consistency of, the push from my parents, I think definitely helped me a lot.
So when you talk about that push, they wanted you to be, quote, successful and go on into a career, but were they surprised that you chose dance?
Completely surprised. Yeah, my parents they always wanted me to go to college. They always wanted me to think bigger and not settle. And I think by settling, I think they really honestly meant pushing myself to go beyond what I think I could have done, and then go even further. Dance was definitely not a career that I think was even in their radar or vocabulary, to be honest. And I started taking dance in high school as a way to get out of taking PE. And then I soon realized that it was much harder on a much different level. And yeah, I sort of fell in love with dancing, and I chose to take it on because it definitely is an art form that is hard to make a career out of.
Now, you went on to dance and study in New York. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I come from a lower middle class family, and my parents, I'm first generation, so my parents came from Mexico, wanting the better life. And so thinking of leaving Anaheim was already mind-blowing. So even I auditioned for American Ballet Theater Summer Intensive, and then I auditioned for the Joffrey Ballet School Summer Intensive as well. And I got into both. And I remember Joffrey Ballet was my very first one. I got into their Summer Intensive right after graduating high school. So I was still 17, and my parents at this moment were still not fully on board. So they were very supportive and said, you do what you want to do. But we don't have, the financial means to fully help you. So I did it on my own. They definitely did help a lot. But yeah, I ended up going to New York and studying at the Joffrey Ballet School. And then a few years later, I did the American Ballet Theater Summer Intensive as well.
Oh my gosh. So you were able to really experience ballet and dance at the very top worldwide, right? I'm sure you just have so many friends and from that experience. But to bring that now back to Anaheim High School with our kids must be truly a dream come true in a lot of ways.
Yeah, most definitely. For me coming back, I mean, I always knew that I wanted to teach. So the fact that I have this career in dance as my, my second love, because I always say that my first love is teaching. So having dance as my second love and putting those two together is truly amazing. And I always knew that I ultimately wanted to end up teaching back in my community. I mean, my parents still live here. I still live in Anaheim. And bringing that back, having the opportunity to bring back new experiences or kind of bigger and more expanded experiences in the realm of dance, in the realm of bringing in, amazing friends that dance in such amazing dance companies that were on So You Think You Can Dance, to give the students here at Anaheim that exposure and that option to have, because our students, most of the students here in the dance program can't afford to take dance on a regular basis at an outside studio. So being able to have that opportunity to bring all of that plus more, because I explain the things I post, in my Instagram, and I have my friends that teach at studios, and they go, "Oh my gosh, we don't even get to do all of that." And so that's truly the main thing for me, is bringing and giving back. Because I wish that I would have had more of that when I was here.
As we go into the first year of this pandemic, and we've talked about a lot of the trauma, right, on emotional trauma on kids and families, even teachers. Can you share a little bit about why the arts are so important at this moment?
Most definitely. I see, and I know, because I personally go through it, is that there are people that express themselves through their voice, through their career, through a non-artistic way. I mean, ultimately, we are all artistic. We all are creative, but dance and the visual and performing arts are such a special thing to have, because it offers not only our students, but everybody a different way to express themselves. I have a lot of students that we will work on choreography, and they will create a story, a theme, and then they will create from that story, that theme, they create their movement, they create their dances. And to see them not able to tell me in their own words, but to actually read it off of paper and then see it realized through movement, is the most amazing and powerful thing to see, because dance and the arts is a way for a lot of people to have a voice. And I feel that without the arts, there are some people that would not have a voice. And I think that would be kind of what we're going through with the pandemic and, mental health. I think that would be even worse if we did not have the arts.
It's truly an expression of our humanity, right? Just connecting with what it means to be a human and connecting with each other. And like you say, it's not only for the students, but for parents and loved ones to watch their kids perform and express that emotion physically, right? And it's just such a beautiful thing to watch and to experience. Can you share a little bit about some of the personal stories that you know with your students in terms of how they're coping through the arts?
Yes, of course. So this year's virtual concert theme is the journey. And so they are creating choreography to connect a journey, any type of journey. So whether it be a personal journey, a family journey, an educational journey, they are creating a story, a theme, and then they are realizing it through movement. And I've realized as I'm watching them, as the kids are turning them in, and I'm watching rehearsals over Zoom, I'm seeing that they're telling stories that they don't feel comfortable sharing. So I'm getting to read these stories of students that have never had any mental health issues and are now battling with, who am I? Why am I here? My life has ended. Because for most of our students, you know, hanging out with friends is their way to communicate. Coming to school is the routine that they're used to. And now they're having to speak to their parents or to their friends over the phone. They're having to do school at home. They're at home the entire time. And so they're having these moments where they're stuck, you know, in their homes, and they're questioning themselves. They're questioning, who am I? What am I doing with my life? Is this ever going to end? And then I also have students that have written and are creating choreography based on the loss. I have a student that has lost both grandparents, and another loved one is passing away due to this pandemic. And for them, it's the, why is this happening? And not only, I think they realize why it's happening. I mean, it's a global pandemic, but I think they're questioning, why is this happening to me? What did I do?
And that's why there's going to be a lot of lingering emotional issues beyond the pandemic, right? Because there's always that sort of survival, right? How come I got saved and grandpa died, right? That sort of thing. And and again, coming back to the arts in terms of making sense of it and developing a way to heal and cope and celebrate what it means to just breathe and have friends and express love, right? Because ultimately I've seen your kids perform, and it is an expression of love and emotion at very deep levels. It is such a beautiful thing to watch your students perform, Oscar. You know, the other thing too that this pandemic has touched is all of us as adults. And what I really appreciate about you and so many of our teachers who are helping each other. Could you talk a little bit about some of your little exercises and things that you've done for teachers, and how did that come about?
Yes, so it honestly started at the end of last year when we first got into the pandemic, and you know, we shifted into this virtual education, virtual learning, and the students wanted more. You know, I feel like because the arts creates a voice, creates an outlet, a lot of my students want more outside of the classroom. So we started doing guided meditation. We started doing just a feel-good class where I would just have fun, upbeat music, and I would do warm-ups. And so while this was happening, I thought, well, I feel like I'm benefiting from it. I'm seeing, you know, I'm seeing the students, we're all together, we're having a conversation before and after class. And I thought, what, you know, great way to connect with educators, with other dancers. And so I started guided meditation Saturdays, and it was kind of like a wellness day. We did an hour in the morning, and we did like a little warm up, and it was great. It was great to meet educators that I had not met, because there were teachers from Northern California. There were teachers from outside of the state. California. So it was super
Wow.
amazing to have this kind of connection of relieving the stress. So I created guided meditation. I did kind of a workout. We did workout classes. We did some chair exercises for what, you know, we transitioned from like walking around in the classroom to now sitting at a computer. So it was great that it just kind of evolved.
Yeah, you know, when I saw that in social media, I was just so impressed. One of our teachers, just doing it, you know, for other teachers. So I want to thank you for that, because you and so many other teachers have stepped up, not only for the kids, but for each other. And I think that's just so important. So we only have a few more minutes here, Oscar, but this show is about, like, how do we develop these skills, lifelong skills? And we talked a bit about how arts helps you cope with trauma and, you know, celebrate humanity. What are some of the other skills you think are developed through the arts, and in particular through your dance program? Because I know some of your alumni already are and who are doing really, really well in the UCs and higher, right? And I know that they always talk about their experience in dance, even though they may not be dance majors, law or pre-med or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's about that. How do you think it expands their skill set?
I mean, honestly, I think dance and any other performing arts creates this sense of it gives you a voice, and in having a voice, I feel like your character becomes much stronger. You know who you are and kind of who you want to become. So you develop all of these skills. Time management. You get to channel the creativity because you're always analyzing, you're always discussing. There's always like some sort of collaboration. Dance is such an art form where you literally go through collaboration, critical thinking, compassion. I mean, all of our 5 C's, we literally live that every single day in every single lesson in dance. And, even if you don't become a dancer, you learn all of these great, life skills that you have to apply when you're in dance. So it's just kind of, it's all included in the dance art form, I feel like.
I would encourage our listeners to look you up on social media. Oscar Gonzalez, you've posted many of your student performances, and it's just so amazing to watch. We are so blessed and lucky to have amazing, talented teachers like yourself, Oscar. On behalf of our 30,000 students and their families, I want to thank you. Thank you so much. And
Thank you so
look
much.
forward to more about you.
And thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you.